today we got the primary day on the program for my squat, bench and deadlift. It's all in the same day. I've never tried that, but I think it's a really good thing because of the mental aspect of preparing for a lift. And for a competition is a lot different for a training session where you have the primary day as just one lift. So for instance, when I know that I have a very heavy deadlift, I can go and mentally prepare it for days. And I feel like it's actually giving me a performance boost to just be really prepared for it and has visualized that scenario so many times before actually doing it. But for a competition, you're not really able to have that much focus for that one lift at the end of the competition. I mean, it's just 1 out of 9 lifts on the day, and you gotta really focus on at least the last 10 for the squat and bench press as well. So practicing this, I think, is a really good thing, and it's something that I've had a bit of issues with previously.
Now, as I mentioned, today I had the primary day of my squat, bench press and deadlift for the first time ever trying that. But overall, I think I did pretty good with this. However, I should definitely have brought some more food with me to the training session because it was like 4 hours-ish before I was done with deadlifts. It's not really optimal to not have anything eaten in 4 hours. Apart from that, everything went pretty good, and starting up with squats, I had a prescribed set of 3 at RP5, which I assumed was going to be around 180 to 190 kg, and I ended up doing it with 187.5 kg, and I think it actually moved surprisingly good. So definitely RP like 5 or below. That's a really good start to the block. Also, a pretty major thing that Michael C, my new coach, wanted me to try in the squats was to just simply not hip hinge before squatting and see if I can make that work. And today I actually did, and it felt really good. Now, the reason that I had previously started to do a big hip hinge before my squats were because I could get a better bar path, and my old coach really wanted me to have a perfect bar path no matter what in every single rep. However, just accepting that I will have some forward lean in the squat while focusing on keeping the weight over the midfoot throughout the whole lift turns out to be a better option for me. Of course, I've not tried it for long enough to be 100% sure, but I definitely believe so. And here is my top set of 3 with 187.5, moving pretty good, I think. If the squat goes really well, we can maybe end up at around 220 to 230 kg for the last week for a set of 3 at RP8. And just to put that into perspective, just 8 weeks ago I did my best squat of my life pretty much, with a set of 5 at 220 kg at RP10. So doing 220 kg at RP8 for a set of 3 would be the equivalent to that in just 4 weeks. And if I get even more than that, that would just be crazy. Now for the bench press, I've made a huge difference, and I've actually switched out a normal comp standard bench press for long pause bench press. More specifically, 2 count bench press. And the reason for that is the pause itself is pretty much my weak point in the bench press, and I feel like I'm getting pretty long pauses in competitions, so I might as well practice that a bit more. Now, normally in a competition in the IPF where I compete, a judge should give you a press signals as soon as the bar is motionless on the chest, which means the fact that I'm doing a soft touch bench press should give me a way faster press signal, but for some reason they don't do that, and they actually favor a more sinking bench press in terms of getting a faster press signal, which doesn't really make sense, but I believe it's because it's easier to see when the sinking bench press is actually on the chest. As some of you guys know, my limiting factor for the bench press is actually often not strength through my chest, triceps and shoulders, but more so my ability to maintain my arch and positioning without cramping. And previously I've only been able to train that when I get above 90 to 95% of my 1 rep max, which is why you've seen me do very high intensity bench press pretty much year round. However, with long pause bench press, I've been able to do this with much lighter weights. As you can see here, I'm cramping like crazy in between the set here with just 122.5 kg, and the only reason I stopped it was just because I started using less leg drive. So I think this will greatly improve my competition standard bench press, because if I could maintain my position perfectly, I honestly believe I would be able to press around 180 kg right now. For the deadlift, just like the squat, I had prescribed 1 set of 3 at RP5, and I really had no idea where that would be because the deadlift of the competition day was really weak, and it's just 7 days post that. So my technique was actually alright for all of these sets and reps. However, they did not feel super great, so I did my last one with 220 kg and decided to just go with 240. So even though 240 was on the low end what was supposed to be a set of 3 at RP5, it was still the one that was closest to RP6 and like barely RP5 here. But it's alright, it was expected that I was not going to be super strong this day. I'm also increasing the RPE by 1 every week here, and I'm hopefully going to end up at around 280 kg, which would be my match 3 rep max PR PR, but at RP 8. However, just getting 272 and above would actually be a PR in terms of my estimated 1 rep max. So I really don't know where this is going to end at, but hopefully somewhere between 270 and 290.